In 2020, I suffered a very bad heartbreak that it took me 6 months to completely recover from it. Now, when in 2022, I came across this book, The Five Love Languages by Chapman, I knew I had to read it. And so that is what I'm going to share with you today. So the takeaways that my main takeaways that I had from this book. So I am Samuel Kim, the founder and CEO of NK Elite. Now NK Elite is an agency that focuses on two things. So the first one is marketing, and then the second one is fundraising. Now, as you already know, this is another session of my Elite book review series. And in this series, what I do is that every week I review one book that I have read, and I share the main takeaways that I have from that particular book. And for today, it's all about love. Now, this session will be about praising. So the first one will be the two takeaways that I have from this book. Then after that, it will be a bonus about the analogies that I have about love, and then after that, I will share my love language. So that is what this session will be about. And now we'll start with the takeaways. So I have two takeaways from The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. The first takeaway is that love is like the languages we speak. So what does that mean? What that means is that if I speak English and you speak English, we will understand each other. But if I speak English and you speak Chinese, we will not understand each other, even though from time to time we may be pointed out at things, but we will not understand each other fully. And now, to understand each other, one thing has to happen, and that is either I learn Chinese and I speak to you in Chinese, or you learn English and you speak to me in English. So that is the only way that we'll be able to understand each other. And now that is the way love is. And now it has five love languages. So if you speak the language, if you both of you speak the same language, one they every one of you will love. But in case one of you speaks different languages, then you are not going to feel the love that the other have for you unless they speak your specific love language. And so that is my first takeaway, is that in case you speak a different love language, so I'm going to go through the love languages in a moment. So if you speak different love languages from your significant other, you have to, at the end of the day, you will have to be speaking two languages so that you can speak your own language and you can speak the language of your significant other. And now that goes the other way too, that the significant other will also have to learn your language in addition to her language or his language. Now that is the first takeaway. The second takeaway is that now this is what the book is really about, and these are the five love languages. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you a brief of the five love languages. And now the first one is words of affirmation. So word of affirmation, these are the words we speak to each other, and these are words we can use to compliment, what we can use to encourage, or what we can use to express kindness to each other. The second love language is quality time. And quality time, now, this one is about giving the other person 100% of your attention. So this is not about doing two things at the same time. It's about if you are talking to the other person, if you are listening to the other person, if you are doing something together, you should give them your full attention. So you should only doing that one thing at a time. The third one is about receiving gift. Now receiving gift now this is a physical expression of your love. So for example, it can be a flower, can be a phone, can be anything, but it is just a physical representation of the love that you have for the other person. And the thing about this is that there is a catch to this one, especially if you have a certain money mindset. Now, this money mindset is that if you are of the orientation of the saving and investing time, you will have to find a way to overcome that because now for the people who are spenders, they are okay with the gift. They can start giving the gifts immediately because spending money on another person is not an issue for them because they already spend money. But if you are of the saving and investing orientation, this means that you'll have to shift your mindset about gifts. And the mindset shift is that the gift that you're buying is investing in a relationship. So you should not look at it like an expense. You should look at it like an investment in that relationship. The other shift is that you should create your budget in such a way that you have a gift allocation in your budget, so in your expenses. So that is the other thing. So you should have a budget for gifts so that you can have the money to buy the gift now. The other thing about gifts is that it is not just about buying the other person's stuff. So what this means is that sometimes you can create stuff, so you can create handmade stuff and then you give what you have created to them, or you can just be present. So for people who their love language is gift and their dialect is physical presence, when you are just there, that is enough for them to feel loved. So that is what the catch is about the gift. So now we are on to our fourth love language. Now the first love language is of, act of services. Now act of services is about doing things for the other person. So this one can be like doing laundry, cooking, cleaning the house. So just about doing things for the other person. And the thing about this one is that if you realize that you or your partner have the love language is act of services, it means that you will have to overcome the societal stereotype about the female and the husband and the wife's role in the marriage. So you'll have to overcome that because now, especially for let's say that you are the man and your wife's love language is act of services. So this means that you'll be cooking for her, you'll be cleaning the house, but by societal standard, as a man, you are not supposed to do that. So that means that you'll have to reframe how you look at this husband and wife roles. So that is our fourth love language. So we are now on to our fifth and final love language. And now the fifth love language is physical touch. And now physical touch is about touching the other person's body. And the thing about this is that there are touches which are acceptable and unacceptable in terms of physical touch. And they are not dictated by the society. They should be dictated by you and your partner. So you should talk with each other and come to a conclusion about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So that is what this one is about. The other thing about this one is that if your partner's love language is physical touch and it is during a crisis, you must touch your significant other. And The reason for this is that physical touch gives one the assurance that you are with them together in whatever crisis that one is going through. So, and the crisis can be death, losing a job, an accident, things like that. So you must touch the other person. Because if you don't touch the other person, what happens is that they may never forgive you for not touching them during that time that they had this crisis. So those are my two takeaways from the Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Now we are on to the bonus. As I already mentioned, the bonus is about the analogies that I have about love. And these analogies that the way I look at it is that a man is from Mars and a woman is from Venus. And what this means is that at the end of the day, what happens is that a man leaves his parents in Mars and come to us, and a woman leaves her parents in Venus and come to us. And now in us is when now they build their own relationship that is different from their parents. And this one now, the key here is that everyone is coming with their own love language and customs that they think of how they think the marriage should work. So the man is coming with the language and custom of Mars, and the woman is coming with the language and customs of Venus. And so what this means is that for them to understand each other, the man must learn how to speak the Venus language and know its customs. And on the other hand, the woman must learn how to speak the Mars language and Mars customs in addition to our Venus language and Venus customs. So that is what this is about. And now, if this happens and both of the partners speak each other's language in addition to their own language, so if it is a man, he speak Mars and Venus. A woman, it is Venus and Mars. So if both do that, what happens is that the relationship blossoms. But in case either of them is not fluent in each other's language and customs, what happens is that the relationship is going to end up in trouble. So that is what this analogy is about, that the man is from Mars and the woman is from Venus. And so when you come together in us, what happens is that you have to, if you're a man, you have to learn the language and customs of Venus. And if you are a woman, you have to learn the language and customs of Mars so that you can experience love in your relationship. Now, that's all I have for you this week, and I will see you next week when I review the 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. The other thing is, before I leave, I would like to tell you about my love language. And now, for me, I am bilingual. And now, what that means is that there are two love languages that speak the loudest to me. And the first one is physical touch, and then the second one is quality time. So that those are my two love languages. So my question is, what is your love language? So let me know in the comments below. So for now, bye bye. Carpe diem.